Okay, good evening, everyone. It's great to have you all on board. It's the time with Tutor IO Fantastic Tutor, and in today's class, it happens to be one of our classes on Telegram, where we do a one-on-one discussion on the topics we discussed earlier on YouTube. With me here today, I have Miss Deborah. Mrs. Deborah, how are you doing today?
I'm good, thank you, sir. Good evening.
Awesome. Good evening. It's good to have you on. So, we are taking our bearing from value and education for peace. Can you walk us through what you have in your note as we walk through this together?
Okay, for the values and education for peace, I picked out key points, which is one,
Awesome.
the 20th century was the 100-year that marked extreme forms of violence.
Violence. Yes.
And also,
Very true.
humankind has tried to discard negative and archaic values and replace them with generosity.
Exactly. All right. Yes. Now, but there's something you are missing there. The violence has to do with values that dominated world politics at that time, especially negative values such as greed. All right. You said something like 100 years that is marked by extreme forms of violence. This violence as a result of negative values such as greed, all right, false sense of moral superiority. We are better than you. We are greater than you. False sense of moral superiority on the part of the superpowers of that era. So some countries, some groups has seen themselves as superpowers, all right, because they have the opportunity to have certain things others don't have, and this gave them a false sense of moral superiority, and this led to series of violence and crisis. Okay, so now, rather than continuing in this track, humankind has tried to discard this negative and archaic. Now you see where you now come in, where you said something about discarding these negative and archaic old values and then replace them with new ones, which are
generosity, tolerance, and accommodation, and faith in humans.
Humanity, yes. Thank you very much. Wonderful. So what are the necessities of value education? Do you have anything on that?
Yes, I have necessities of values education. Well, what I pointed out was the First World War in the year 1914 to 1918 told how intolerance among nations of the world.
Okay,
and also
please continue.
in the 1920s and 1930s, we experienced national leaders and peace advocates do their thing as the very first tentative steps
towards. Now, we said something about negative values. All right?
Yes.
Negative values being replaced by positive ones. Now, replacing negative values with positive ones does not just happen out of the blue. It requires series of efforts. It requires the preaching of positive values, educating people to embrace positive values, embrace peace education over violence. So in view of this, it is highly necessary that nations, countries, groups are being educated on how and why it is important, all right, to embrace positive values, which are compassion, honesty, transparency, less hypocrisy, corruption, and selfishness. All right,
Yeah.
discarding, all right, or pushing aside of hypocrisy, corruption, all right, selfishness. These are philosophies that needs proper propagation. People need to be educated about these values. This is the only way war, violence can be drastically reduced. So in steps, all right, geared and
Yeah.
intentional steps towards achieving this, we experience, like you have said, the 1914 to after the end of the World War of 1914 to 1918, there was a tentative, at least there's an attempt. An attempt was recorded, even though the attempt wasn't conclusive, it was tentative in the sense that a lot of things had not been concluded. But we realize that the world is becoming a global world whereby no one, even though you see yourself as superior, you still bring yourself down to the level of coming together and signing peace treaties, coming together and signing documents that encourage peace and interaction, diplomacy between countries and nations. All right? Are you beginning to see the necessities of value education as it
Yes.
breeds positive values over negative ones? And we have the likes of League of Nations. All right?
Yeah.
The likes of League of Nations. This is a very good example of what we are talking about the propagation of peace, education over violence. All right? You know what League of Nations stands for?
I think coming together of different nations.
Wonderful.
If I'm not mistaken.
All right. Well, let's solidify that. Let's build upon that. League of Nations is a global organization.
Okay.
All right. A global organization to try to maintain the first of its kind, to try to maintain what we call world peace. Now, the point you need to take here is that it is an intergovernmental organization. All right.
Yeah.
That attempted to maintain world peace between 1920 to 1946. Are we together?
Yes, sir.
All right. So we have that as that. So everything that comes after what we have said now are just different bodies and organizations coming together to solidify world peace. So can we move straight ahead to okay, we have the rules. I think there's nothing much here. Now, peace in human society. Do you have anything on that?
No.
But you said it's just one volume left.
Yeah, I only have something on types of peace, components of peace, and components of positive peace and negative peace.
You don't have anything on peace as cooperation.
No.
Peace as conditioning factor in social outcomes. Peace
No.
as a product of human solidarity.
Okay, I have that.
Definitely. I'm sure you have types of peace.
Yes.
You have it then. You have it. So now, before we talk about types of peace, when we say peace in human, just a moment, peace in human society, we are simply talking about how peace can be welcomed in different areas of our society. All right? Some people
Yeah.
say peace is the absence of conflict or violence, while others relate it to an individual state of mind. Now, one thing to understand here is that it is most important for us to examine that personal attitude, values, and knowledge provide the basics for working towards peace. Okay? Personal
Yes.
attitude, what we hold dear, what we see as values, okay,
Mm.
and attitudes leads to what we call peaceful coexistence and social harmony. All right. So peace in human society simply telling us about how peace can foster peaceful coexistence and harmony in the society. And in order to achieve this, there is need to educate people on how to go about doing their things and their businesses peacefully. Then we have peace as cooperation. Peace as cooperation is a condition of many achievements. Do you get that?
Yes.
It's a condition of many achievements. Now, cooperation is necessary. It is a necessary condition for nearly all human attainment. Do you agree to that?
Yes, sir.
It is a necessary condition for nearly all human attainment. Why? For peace to reign, people must. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
The network was unstable a moment ago.
Yeah.
Now, I was saying, for peace to reign, are we together?
Yes.
Now, for peace to reign, all right, people have to learn to rely on one another. Do you agree to that? And why?
I agree to that. Reason is because when we have faith in each other and cooperation,
Yes.
we have to
Yes.
rely on each other to be able to exist or coexist together. Because if we don't rely on
Wonderful.
each other, there will be no peace. It will be everyday quarreling, both domestically
Envy.
and
Yes. Competition.
otherwise.
Unhealthy competition. Yes.
Yes.
Wonderful. So now you see why it says here that it is a necessary requirement, all right, a
Yes.
necessary condition for nearly all human attainment. Now it says here, let's let's go straight to what we have here as a type of peace. What do you have on type of peace?
Okay, on types of peace, I have when peace is applied in a positive sense, the idea of peace involves the voluntary cooperation among individuals and groups for the attainment of materials and not materials objects like security, justice, and freedom. And I also have
Wonderful.
okay. Okay, and I also have when peace is said to be positive, we are referring to it in the sense that involves voluntary cooperation among individuals. And I also jotted down negative peace, which is when applied negatively, peace
Okay.
only seems to eliminate the use of force and violence to attain any kind of objective.
Okay.
And among the types of
Thank you very
peace,
much.
you have peace as harmony, which is absence of conflict, peace as order, which is
Yes.
ability of stability, peace as justice, which is
Yes.
absence of domination and poverty, and peace as
Wonderful.
conflict, which is peace as conflict management.
Yes. Wonderful. You've done well. All right. I basically talked about positive peace already. So I wouldn't
Yes.
want us to dwell too much on that. So now let's talk about active peace. Well, do you have anything on active peace?
No, I don't have anything on that.
Okay.
Okay, I think
Now,
there is absence of war and direct violence on one hand and the other. Yes, active peace of social justice, good governance, protection of human security, and rule of law on the other.
okay, thank you very much. That was not what I was expecting. Now, when we say
Okay.
active peace, we are simply talking about peace being a part of a triad. Do you understand what I mean by triad?
No, I don't.
More like a triangle of hierarchy, a triad.
Okay.
Good. So now, when we talk about active peace, we are simply seeing it as a theory, all right, which is part of
Yeah.
a triad. It doesn't make up a triad, but it is part of a triad, all right. Now, this triad includes includes justice, wholeness, and all right, justice, wholeness, and okay, from what I have here, it's basically just justice and wholeness. These are the theory that precede peace as part of triad. All right. So the active peace is more of peace being a part of triad, which uses the justice and wholeness. Justice and wholeness. Are we together?
Yes.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Do you have anything on social justice?
Yes, I do have something on social justice.
Please go
Social
ahead, ma.
justice. Okay. Social justice, which is society with many policy aim to achieve equality of opportunity and outcome.
Okay, that's nice. Thank you very much for that. Social justice, as it is commonly used, is used to what? Describe a society with many policies, like you have said. And these policies are aimed towards achieving equality, all right? The sharing of the resources equally, equality of opportunity, and equality of outcome. That is what social justice stands, it represents. Okay, so we have that as that. Now let's continue, please. What else do you have there, ma?
I have human rights, which is the basic liberty that serve as indicators in a society where social justice exists. Example, freedom of speech, freedom of thought,
Yes,
liberty to
wonderful.
morality, public liberties, political liberties, freedom of press, and freedom of assembly.
Thank you very much for that. I think that was on point. That was on point. Now there's something on relative deprivation. Do you have anything on that?
Let me check. Yes, relative deprivation on
deprivation.
components of negative peace.
Okay.
That is when people see themselves as better than others and therefore treat them with disdain.
With disdain or disrespect.
Yeah.
Are we good?
Yes, sir, we are.
Wonderful, wonderful. Now let's continue. It says here, social, I think we talked about social justice. Okay, we have social injustice. Do you have any on social injustice?
Yes, I do. I have social injustice.
Yes. When we say social injustice, what are we referring to what are we referring to exactly?
There is nothing written there, but I'll say it's like the opposite of social justice, which is society with many policies disregard, in my own point of view, disregard or does not give equality of opportunity and outcome.
Yeah, yeah. Now, the existence of unequal treatment, that's social injustice. When there's an unequal treatment, when some people are treated specially and those some are treated less, okay? When there's an
Yes.
unequal treatment or special treatment, all right? Now this could be as a result of tribalism, nepotism, discrimination. It could be based on your age, it could be based on your race, based on your gender, or based on your orientation. All right, those are the basis for social injustice. Are we together?
Yes, sir.
Wonderful. Okay. Now let's take on the dimensions of peace. Are we together?
Yes, sir.
Good. So now we talk about dimensions of peace. What do you have on it, ma?
For dimensions of peace, I have one: domestic
Yes, ma'am.
peace.
Okay.
Domestic peace, which, if described, it could be democratic rule, good governance, transparency on
Yes.
decision making, and by high degree
Wonderful.
of political legitimacy of board.
When we talk about domestic peace, we are talking about the peace that is in your local country or in your environment or in your social, and a peace in a country. And it's not one-sided. It's not like you have good roads, you don't have good light, you don't have good power supply, or you have good power supply, you don't have good medical or health centers. No, this is what we are talking about. Good democratic rule, good governance, transparency, high degree of political legitimacy, and lots more. These will so much foster what we call peace. And the other thing on global peace, this is just the opposite of what we have just talked about, where countries come together to acknowledge that they need each other, work together, and don't respect each other. You want to say something, man?
Okay, I want to say what you just said.
Okay, wonderful. Do you have anything on durable peace?
Yes, I have something on durable peace, which
What do you have, man?
lasting, positive, or justice. And also, for durable peace to exist, there must be internal harmony of individuals. Durable peace is
high
lasting.
level.
Yes.
High level of cooperation between parties. Wonderful. So let's call it up here for today. We'll take it up from what we call security in our next class. Is that okay, ma?
Okay, sir. Yes, it is.
Have you covered anything on security?
No, I haven't. It doesn't. The videos that I watched, there is no security.
But you are not done yet. Now maybe this is the last one you'll find it.
Okay.
Thank you very much, ma'am. I really appreciate your time, and I appreciate your effort. You know, you are not feeling so well. You're just recovering, and you still try as much as you can to attend classes. I pray that God Almighty will crown all our efforts with success in Jesus' name, and we'll have the opportunity to
Thank you,
back
sir.
and tell stories that are good. Do have a wonderful evening, and bye for now.
You too. You too. Bye, sir.
Bye, ma.